on, RS fam? We're back with the '07 Subaru Forester Tursky build. She's been needing some love. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you've seen that we put a turbo on this beast. It had already about 120,000 miles on it. And I got about 50,000 miles with the turbo after I installed it. And ever since I got this motor, it's had this weird ticking noise on bank one. And I thought it was just like a valve lifter tick or maybe exhaust leak. But when I put the turbo on, that loud noise or that ticking noise got louder and louder and slowly progressed. As it should, you know, more stress, more boost on everything. Or more boost, more stress on everything. But, and yeah, one day I was going to work and the motor finally went. And it started knocking real hard, sounding like crap. Didn't really have any real bad oil leaks or like, you know, burning oil, like a seal leak. Like I was burning it. But, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know if I don't have a hole in the block. I don't see any oil coming out of anything. It's just got that weird, so I don't know if I twisted a can, bent a valve, or what the hell. But we're gonna yank the motor out. We're gonna put in a brand new, well, refurbished with 53,000 miles on it motor, and then we're gonna put all the stuff back on, and then we're gonna go up to Denver and get it tuned by Cryo Tune. And they're gonna get this new motor freaking screaming. We're gonna get it reliable. We're gonna make it reliable, but we're gonna make it boosted. It's gonna be good. But yeah, let's go ahead and start into this. We're gonna go ahead and drain the coolant, drain the oil, get all the fluids drained, and then we're gonna start bagging up some of the intake parts, get everything bagged up that we can, and then we'll start from one side to the next. Like I said, we are gonna start undoing the radiator. We're gonna start draining the fluids, draining the oil. And then we'll probably go ahead and just take the radiator out so we don't mess it up. It's just these two bolts, hose here, hose on the bottom, and I believe that's it. But yep, we're gonna drain the fluids, get all that cleaned out, get that draining, and while that's draining, we'll probably start unbolting the power steering pump and AC compressor and alternator, get that out of the way. And then by the time get that out of the way, maybe we can pull the alternator or the intercooler out. This is gonna be a journey. I really hope I can get that fuel hose off too, without having to buy some special tools. But we'll see. The radiator out, coolant's drained, oil's drained. We're gonna start on the alternator, power steering pump, AC compressor. Get those out and go from there. Good. As you can see, we kind of moving along slowly but surely. Haven't really gotten to these yet. I was getting all the intake pipe out of the way. Got the turbo unbolted, well not unbolted, but all the pipes undone from it. Got the alternator out, battery out. Now we're gonna work on this. And this has, let's see here, one bolt right there. Camera will focus. A bolt right there, and a bolt right there, and I believe, yep, there's a bolt right. Come on, camera. Right there. Boom. Take those four out. Then we can go ahead and take this AC compressor off of the actual bracket, because there's two that are underneath here that are really hard to get, and then there's this one right here. It unbolts it from this bracket because this bracket's got the lifting eye. And when we go to pull the motor out, so we got to put that back in. And then this guy has got, I believe, two, yep, one right there and one right to the left of it, and then one back there underneath them wires. It's right there, I swear, I promise. Oh, you can see it. But those two are, yep, those two in the front, one on the back, and then you can just go ahead and pull this one over. We don't need that one for anything. And then I'll go ahead and undo my little setup here for the turbo feed line and the oil pressure sensor. Take that off because I'll need that for the new motor, and pretty much the front of it's done. I can go ahead and move towards the driver's side, and I will do the fuel lines here. Undo the vacuum line here. Those two heater core hoses, I'll undo them from the block. That way I can save them. I don't have to undo all the other shit for the turbo. Well, actually I'll probably have to undo that line right there. That way I can pull the motor through the middle here. Undo the wishbone. Then I'll save probably the transmission for the last. Then I'll probably work over here and get the turbo. I'd like to say I could pull it out with the turbo still on, but probably just gonna unbolt the turbo as much as I don't want to. Because I'm sure that turbo is gonna catch right on the lip of the motor somewhere. But we'll get that out. And then we'll go ahead and undo the wiring harness, which is underneath all that heat tape. And we're almost done, which is kind of crazy. But I still need to get some chains and stuff for that. I'll have to get a transmission or a jack under the transmission before I do anything funky with that, because I really don't want to bend nothing. But transmission is pretty much the last little bit before I gotta get this supported, get the transmission supported, and should be Gucci. Okay, fuel line, boom, got it off. Just went and looked through my toolbox, and I had these little flathead screwdrivers, heated them up, bent them, so then I could just get those little bad boys. You see those little tabs right in there? A little tab right there. You gotta force those tabs both out, because it kind of, I mean, obviously you can see it pinches right there. Force both those tabs out, and then you can just slide that bad mammer jammer off. Take the fuel return line off, and I just tucked them off to the side here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tackle this power steering and AC compressor finally. All right, got the power steering off of the bracket. As you can see, it was 1, 2, 3, and 4. And to get this bracket off, obviously, because like I said, it's got that lifting eye for the engine lift. It's one here, one down here, and that one there. And we can go ahead and take that off, pull it to the side, put that bracket back down in there. I honestly think I could have, that one might have been a pain. I think I could have got it off without taking the bracket off, so you might be able to save yourself a step. Just take those 3 bolts off and then leave that on. Because now obviously I'm gonna have to look at the torque specs and put that back on. But for now, I'll just get it on there snug. That way I can use it for a lift and eye. And we'll go ahead and tackle the power steering pump. All right, as you can see, we are about ready to pull this bad boy. Just wanted to kind of run you through all I had to do. Obviously, alternator, power steering pump, and AC compressor. Pulled those to the side. Got those all pulled off. And around over here, I got the fuel lines, high pressure, low pressure, taken off, pulled off to the side. Here's my high pressure, low pressure down here. Also got the vacuum line pulled off. What else over here? Master cylinder for clutch. There's one other, oh yeah. This goes on the bell housing. It's a ground, it goes on right here. Just pulled that off to the side. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Then there's this little itty bitty guy, I almost missed it. I don't know where it goes. It connects to right here, and it goes down into this maybe, fuse box. But it's a ground, it's right on top of the fuel rail here. Take that off. Obviously your heater core hoses, took those off, pulled them off to the side. Got all the bell housing bolts off. There's one here, one there for the starter, one underneath it, and then a nut right by the CV boot and axle. Pulled those off. Master cylinder went right here. Intake, wishbone, pitch stop, whatever you want to call it. Pulled that off. Turbo, I think I'm able to leave that hooker on there. And then once I pull it off, and then I'm gonna obviously go over all the bolts, make sure all the bolts are tight. Do that, mess with that, but let's move our way over here. Oh, yep, and then fuel pressure sensor right there. I had to take it out because I had the fuel or the oil supply line to the turbo, had it on. PVC hoses. This one, I don't know what this one is. I know it's a crankcase vent or some kind of vent, but I'm not exactly sure. Someone in the comments, tell me what the heck that thing is, because I'm really confused, or it doesn't even do anything. And then mass airflow sensor, pulled that off to the side. Power steering pumps off to the side. Nothing really in the way. Should be able to pull it right out. Main ECU harness. Thank God it's a import. Because I was, that's the whole reason why I'm doing this, is because it's so easy to do them. Just take them off, boom, you're done. Couple connections here, couple connections there. Bell housing bolts, one here, one there, one underneath it, and then the nut. And what else? Am I missing something? Oh yeah, I took off the O2 sensors here and here. Took those out. And then you can pull it from the exhaust manifold. All I got to do now is, I've got the exhaust manifold unbolted. I just got to do the 2 engine mounts. Got the transmission supported. Got the bolts broke. We're pretty much ready to rumble. I'm gonna go down to get me a piece of metal so I can make my own lifting bracket, and then some chain, and we'll get hooked up to this thing and we'll yank her on out. And then what else? That should be it, I think. So yeah, we're moving along. She looks barren. It's gonna be looking even more barren when I yank that motor out. All right, a little update. Got a lifting point on the back here. Had to kind of customize my own bracket, weld one up. Got the bolts for this one. Just gonna cut my chain and get it shortened up, and then go ahead and lift this thing up. And boom, the weight is off. Okay, I'm gonna probably just leave it sitting here just in case. But sitting good. Pullers look fine. And that's how you pull a 07 Subaru Forester motor and set it on your tires, waiting for your new one. It should be here any minute. Nothing special, dirty motor. I obviously took the front timing belt covers off because I was hoping that the issue that I was having was a timing belt tensioner pulley. Yeah. I thought the pulley or the tensioner on the timing belt went bad, but it wasn't. From when, if you remember the turbo video, I had to cut out that big ass channel, and now I get to go back in and replace that. And I also picked up one of these bad boys, and it looks like it's just about perfect. And it's got it's a little thinner piping, so a little more room for everything else, like the O2 sensors and stuff. Oh man, that bung's too small though, I can't use it. No. But shit, we'll see. If anything, I'll get to clean that up. The little channel I've cut out, and then I get to fix this oil dump. Oh man, look at that throwout bearing. Ugh, it's disgusting. Oh god. All right. How many hours did that take? It took like 2 hours. Hour to hook this up because I had to make my own bracket. Now that it's off, you can kind of see it. I hope that doesn't break now that I'm thinking about it. But let's lower this down a little lower just in case. But other than that, we're styling and profiling the RS Garage first motor pull. Crazy. It's nuts. It's nuts what you can do with a little bit of research and a little bit of common sense knowledge. And before you know it, your motor's out. And you're looking at all this mess you gotta clean up. Alright, that's gonna do it for this video. As always, stay steezy. Tune in for part 2 of the motor pull session that we're doing here. I don't know what part 2 is gonna involve, but it's probably gonna be depending on if we get that motor. If we don't have the motor, part 2 will probably be just cleaning the San Bay out and prepping it for the new motor. But thank you again for tuning in for another RS build. I'm sweating my butt off. I'm gonna go take a shower and reminisce and make another checklist. As you can see, I blew through my checklist here. I got my brackets for my bell housing pinpointed so I don't forget where those go. And yeah, like I said, I'm probably gonna just order a new clutch because the new clutch comes with a new throwout bearing, and that old clutch, I don't even want to bother with pulling it off. So like I said, we'll see you later. Take it easy.